Okay, my darling Aquarius, this is your March reading. We are preparing for a new cycle. So the astrological new year is coming up. Eclipse season is coming up too. So we're likely to be preparing for change, which is a nice time to get involved with messages from spirit to just give us that heads up, right? I mean, I loved being surprised, don't get me wrong, and I love surrendering to whatever the universe needs me to navigate. But I also like to have a sense of the future just as much as I have a sense of the past. In shamanism, we work with future timelines a lot, as much as we do past timelines, probably the future more so. We like to hack into infinite amounts of timelines and infinite amounts of possibilities and like how we are subconsciously preparing for a certain outcome. So if you are too rigid in the worst case scenario, which I know a lot of people are, they're constantly like, I got to make sure that doesn't happen. I got to make sure that doesn't happen. I got to make sure that doesn't happen. All your guides here is like, I think she wants that to happen. I think she wants that to happen. Everything is like showing me that she's moving towards something that she fears. Now, it's okay to move towards something that you're scared of. That's what evolution is about as well. But we can also be too rigid moving towards a timeline that we really want to happen, right? So that can be the locked onto the manifestation part. I really need to make this amount of money. I really need that kind of car. I really need it to be this many clients. And although that works when we come into our magician sense, that we can create our reality, I do like the idea of being somewhere in the middle there. So what does it take for me to just feel neutral and grounded towards the timelines that will present? And all I need to do is be very obvious and strategic in my actions so my guides always know what I'm moving towards. And I like to move towards 5D paradigms, not 3D paradigms, because I found after a lot of 3D hacking, it was like, I want 10 clients. Okay, there you go. And I want this kind of car. All right, there you go. And I want it to be like this. Okay, there you go. But what about I want to explore greater connection and I'm not attached to how that shows up for me. I want to feel in my body what abundance feels like, and I'm curious to see how that shows up for me. I would like to experience collaboration without competition. And I'm curious to know who will show up to provide those lessons for me. And I trust in my guides to facilitate the right experiences at the right time, knowing that I might have to go through some challenging stuff to get there. But the challenging stuff is the more important place to surrender, but also is when everything's working out in your favor. It's important to surrender there. Otherwise, there's an ego trap, right? We never want to be I never want to be in a place where I think I know more than other people and that segregates me from my community. That doesn't sound good for me at all. But the world would have us that way, wouldn't it, most of the time? I want to be better and compare myself to look down upon those that aren't doing so well. But if we look at a multidimensional reality, they're creating their own dimension. Like I'm creating my own reality and dimension. So comparing just seems ridiculous, doesn't it? That soul's going through that evolutionary pathway to learn a bunch of stuff to wake it up further so it can do the work. And I'm over here creating my own reality. And I hope that I can hang out with other beautiful beings and cool realities and experience that dimension with them for a bit. But comparing myself to them is like, it's not even in the same channel because if we're the hero in our own story, which means we're the central part of our universe, what happens inside is reflected outside and vice versa, and we're divinely connected to nature, then there is no comparison or competition ever. There can't be. I'm not competing with a mushroom. I'm not saying I'm at a higher point of evolution because we also know that mycelium is brilliant And if that mushroom has the capacity to open up my psychedelic doors, then where does it doesn't come into play? So imagine if we could have the similar or more interesting viewpoint on ourselves and other people, right? There doesn't need to be so much back and forth comparison, judgment, competition going on. It really gets in the way of connection, is what I've found. So your 3-card story, before I ramble on that too much, is, oh, it is looking good, Aquarius. You might be opening up the world. You may have opened up the world, or the world might be about to open up. But this is a pretty awesome card. This represents a whole new level of understanding, a brand new perspective on the world, like you're coming back in and getting a whole new take on it. However you get the world to open is the curious part. It could be a ceremony, it could be a training, it could be something that you've been through, it could be a place that you got to, a goal that you achieved. But whatever opens up the world, pay attention to what actually opened it up. You could meet someone randomly on the street and have a conversation that just seemed to change your perspective and blow open everything that you were thinking about. That's possible. The world could be a place you're about to travel to that actually changes and shifts your perspective. But notice as the portal opens, there is still a bit more opening to do, I believe. So don't get scared and pull back. This is what true balance looks like. And when we're balanced, when our nervous system's regulated, when we are in balance, ebb and flow, yin and yang, and both are there together, masculine, feminine, whichever paradigm you're working with, we open up a whole new level. But we don't get there through stress and chaos and burden and burnout. That doesn't open up the world. She looks super free. Yeah. And all the archetypes are there. All the elements are in balance around her. So it might be a place of connection for you. It might be a place of, and Pisces season is great for this, it might just be a place of understanding. It could be a deep meditative state. Now, if the only point in your day where you're actually calm or balanced is meditation, then make sure that meditation is a part of every single day, and make sure that period of time increases or is a big part of your day. If that is where the world opens up to you and shows you its immense, multidimensional wisdom and just it blows you away, then keep going there, keep visiting it, because our day-to-day lives take us further away from that, don't they? Well, most of them do. And what we're trying to achieve is getting closer to that meditative state while we're walking around and doing the day-to-day rituals. And that's what a day-to-day life is. It's aligned, intentional rituals towards getting where we need to be, progressing forward, or just being in communion and connection with our environment, whatever that is for you. Those day-to-day rituals can be done with intention to keep the world opening in front of your eyes rather than closing. And pay attention to the things that close that sense of unity. Yeah. So do you feel more separate from others in certain actions, right? So that could be being in the wrong environments, or eating the wrong thing, or watching a bunch of television, or overdoing it somewhere. Pay attention to what habits actually open the world up even more and keep that joy and bliss in your heart, and which ones close all the doors and make you feel anxious and depressed and segregated from other people. Be mindful of the narratives. If the narratives come in that other people are against you and that they don't accept you and all of that sort of stuff, just be mindful. Your ego is uncomfortable for some reason. So there's fear there somewhere. Opposite of fear is love. Being connected to a tribe, feeling like you belong, this full sense of completion, fulfillment in the emotional realm, in the love relationship sector. This doesn't happen by mistake. The world opens so this can be a part of your life. Remember, you have to open the world, your world, before this can come in. Have you ever noticed people that they can't fully relax into community and relationships and sovereignty and conversation and love language? They can't get there because their worldview is too narrow or their worldview is too restrictive. Make sense? If there's any paradigm of information that you're listening to and digesting that says that you have to be afraid of connection or afraid of other people or mindful of who you spend your time with or anything else in that lacking sense of the world, right? Too many conspiracy theories can take away this feeling, can't it? Or too much negative information from the news can take down that feeling as well. For us to be receptive to this, we have to be invested in it, don't we? We have to reach out to our loved ones. We have to facilitate meaningful connection. We have to show up to the barbecues and the dinners and the phone calls that give us an opportunity to support and overflow with each other. This doesn't happen by accident. I think this actually takes a lot of work. And if you look back at the whole suit of cups, there is a lot of work involved. It's not just white picket fence, a baby comes along and we're there. It's actually, from what I'm noticing in people, it's not that at all. We have to make it work. Yep. You have to open up your world first. If we get community in the true overflowing sense, right? Community is this interesting word. Everybody's talking about it a lot. And Aquarius, you would know about it the most. But where we get it from at the point of our evolution is completely ours. This might be an online community that makes you realize that your boundaries have always been not good enough to be in community with actual people. So go for the online community first, learn about conversations and your triggers and your setbacks and where you go cold and pull out and what all that stuff is. Learn about your insecurities and your communication styles and everything so that when you're ready for actual community, which is a very confronting thing at times, you've done that work. Keep on opening up your world in the way that you want it to be open with the light switches that turn you on. So whatever that is for you, you have to go after your own sense of balance and open up your perspective completely. And don't be afraid that that might be isolating and learning about yourself in a closed environment for a while. That could be traveling the world to see how other cultures do it and completely coming out of your comfort zone. That could be embracing a part of your life that you've never embraced before. That could be finding what community means online before you're ready to do it in person, or vice versa. You might find it in person and then realize, well, there's so many other people all over the world that I could learn from, and I can't get to everywhere and I don't have the resources. So why don't I find people online, follow them or whatever it is, open myself up to more community despite the risks. Yep. And remember, community or a sense of soul tribe family takes work, commitment, investment. There's many cups here. There's not cups falling over and cups being abandoned and cups being drained. There is 10 full cups. This is a state of bliss and joy and completion and unity in some way. And all these states are transient. The community you had 10 years ago is not meant to be the same community you have now. Those people might have gone through such a transformation that they're literally different people. So we know that when kids are tiny to when they're teenagers, it's a completely different vibe. We might say, well, what served me 10 years ago was just having a very small community. Now I need actually 50 to 100 people. I know it. I can feel it. My connection needs have changed. Honor where you're at. Find the 10 of Cups. Be curious about how it comes through. Yep. Because it seems for you, Aquarius, that if we open the world and find community, then we can fully move into harmonious connection in a one-on-one basis. Very sacral chakra stuff. I would say this is a little bit more to do with the base chakra, the root chakra, because it is about being in that tribe. Yeah, being in that sense of we're all in this together. Most people have it the other way around, don't they? They have to find the partner and then they can have the kids. But what if the community comes first and then you actually move into a completely new paradigm of what soul connection means? Some people say this is the soulmate card. I say what it actually means to be in connection with other people in a one-on-one basis that feels so good that it actually releases things in the contract that brings us both towards greater evolution. There is, I give a bit to you, you give a bit to me. Sometimes I lead, sometimes I step back. Giving and receiving happens in flow. It's not transactional. It's not like, well, I called her last time, she has to call me this time, right? It's actually intuitively understanding what's in the contract and being aware of that contract as it comes through. Because if we get the alchemy right, all of this energy can come through. Yes, spiritual evolution can come through for both. We work within each other's DNA matrix. We release each other's shadow and light to bring towards evolution. Remember, evolution can be painful, challenging, and need a lot of therapy. I've said this a lot. When these people come along, you're going to need support. Get the support first, Aquarius. Open up your world. That could be shamanic training, plant medicine, starting a new hobby, opening up your world in many respects, learning about a paradigm that you've always feared, learning about the opposite paradigm to what you've always believed, right? It might be dipping into a completely other avenue of information to see if it has any innovation for you. I know you love that stuff, Aquarius. So find the support network, the group, the community, the tribe, then move towards more aligned, sovereign connection and big soul contracts. Yeah, people want this so much, but I have found in my own experience of working with people for over a decade that this requires preparation, dedication, and support. Yep. If you want to call in your soulmates, you better be ready, because they will unleash all of this. And it won't be based on fair, transactional. It will be a give and take in harmony with what each other needs. It is an intuitive bond as well. It is based on emotional fulfillment, not structure and judgment and all those things that we're taught has to be a part of relationships, right? Soulmates come in and they can blow your red flags out of the water and you can ignore all of them. And your green flags, you don't even know where they are anymore. But if your guides want you to experience this, then let's prepare. There is someone coming for you, Aquarius. Prepare yourself, bring yourself into higher integrity, create support networks around you to when your alchemy changes so that they can reflect back to you what's actually happening. Your shadow card is Dragonfly 26. Dragonfly is a symbol of transformation, but it's a different transformation because so is snake and so is butterfly. But really think about the energy behind these animal spirits and insects as well. This is a hovering transformation, right? It's not moving around. It's a little bit like the change of hummingbird, but smaller, and it hovers a bit more. Hummingbird hovers around nectar, right? Dragonfly hovers over its own reflection. It can connect with people while it's still in flight. Have you seen dragonflies mating? They don't stop their movement. They don't stop to do the thing. They actually keep on hovering around their dreams and what they're doing in those reflections over water. So it is like this steady transformation, and it's being wary and aware of the transformation. It's not like, bang, let's go. It's not the deep cocoon phase of butterfly and then the beautiful, blissful dancing around and, oh my God, I made it through. Dragonfly says, let's keep eyes on this. We are transforming, but we need it to be sustainable and we need it to be stable. So Keep your shit together, basically. Don't lose your support network. Don't forget what opened up your world. Don't forget all of the work that you've done to bring yourself into balance, because when that person comes along, they might put at risk everything that you've done. So just hold transformation steady. Yep. And just have those boundaries around it. You can still connect with someone as you're hovering around and working on your dreams and your own reflections and everything that you're doing. But this is not a fight and flight response. This is not get too excited and then everything turns to shit. It's not that at all. It's prepare, get ready to be in the transformation and have awareness of it. This is what I thought was going to happen. Here we go. We're on a ride. Don't get too ungrounded here. Yep. That's for you, Aquarius, and that's for March. Much love. I'll see you soon. Bye.